Let's make a traveler's notebook today, along with even that little charm that we are going to create together. We are going to make the cover and decorate it front and back. There are two elastics on the inside, and then you can thread through two booklets. It is a very easy project, and it's a great way to use up your 8x8 pattern papers. I'm going to share lots of tips as well as ideas on how you can change things up to use what you have at home. So let's start. What you need is an 8x8 paper pad. If you have larger ones, you need to cut them down to be 8x8. It's a great stash buster. If you have many 8x8 paper pads, this is the way to go. So just choose some pages, and I'm going for 2 booklets, so I'm picking 5 pages for each one of my booklets, 10 in total. Now I'm using a paper pad from the new collection by Stamperia, which is called Silent Sea, but you can definitely use whichever paper pad you have at home. I'm also going with pages that are not double-sided, so one page is printed, the back is white. This is going to allow for space for me to write down things, spaces where I can stick photos or a journal if I want. But if you only have double-sided papers, then it's not an issue at all. I'm going to share what you can do for that. So for now, what I'm doing is making a score line at 4 inches, exactly at the half. So no waste of those papers at all, and I'm doing for all 10 pages. Now what you need to do is to decide which ones you want as your cover for your 2 booklets. So for one of them I'm going with the van. I think it is lovely as a front. I'm going to use my bone folder to reinforce the scoring line. And then let's choose one more for the second booklet. And I think this barrel and the door as the back is a great way to go. So here are the 2 covers, front covers for my booklets. Now all you have to do is to fold the rest of the pages and just put one inside the other. And here is what you can do if your pattern paper is printed front and back. Just bring in some 8x8 white printer papers, or even thicker ones if you want, and interchange them. So one pattern paper, one white page, and so on. This way you will get pretty much the same result. So that's it, my 2 booklets are ready. Now what we need to do is to bind them somehow. There are 2 different ways that you can do that. The easiest way that doesn't require any special tools is to use your poke tool and do 3 holes and then just sew with some thread. Super easy to hold those pages together. Another way, which I'm going to use because I'm super lazy, is to use my stapler. Now, of course, you need to have a stapler that goes all the way to the center. Mine doesn't, but this is one of those staplers where you can rotate. So it's super easy for me to do that, as you can see. Now, of course, I need to use the stapler from the outside, since I want to have those... Anyway, I want to have the good thing showing on the outside. I don't know how to say that in English. So I'm going to staple, and that's why I used only 5 pages, because I know that this is the way to go with the stapler. I didn't want to add even more pages and make my life difficult. But of course, if you use thread and needle, then you can add as many of those pages as you like. Now, some of them may go a little bit outside. If you find that that bothers you and they are not very straight on the edge, just use a metal ruler and a craft knife and just go along the line to cut off any excess. I'm not really bothered about that. It's only 5 pages after all, so it's not that big of a deal for me. I'm just going to leave it as it is. So I'm going to do that for the other booklet, and these are great to give as gifts. I turn all my extras into little booklets like that, and I give them to my mom. I keep them in the kitchen to just write my grocery list. I think that they are really handy. Anyway, now let's move on and create the cover. For the cover, I'm going to use stone paper. This is very durable, it doesn't tear, and it is waterproof. So it makes the perfect cover, but if you don't have stone paper, or if you cannot find it, you can definitely use thick cardstock, or another way to go is faux leather. Now I cut that side to 9 inches, you can definitely go to 9.5. This is going to allow you for some extra room when you fold this cover. Don't worry if it is stiff at the moment, it's going to be nice and smooth when we finish. It's like leather, it ends up nice and soft. So I'm going to use the scoring tool now, and I'm going to score at the center. Just as a guide, don't worry about that scoring line in the middle at the moment. So my cover now is about 8.5 by 9, or you can go to 8.5 by 9.5 even, allowing you for extra room to add even more booklets if you want. Just measure it, it's super easy to do if you already have the booklets ready. Now I'm going to cover the front and the back by using rice paper. I'm using products from the same collection since I do have them, and it is kind of foolproof. Everything is going to match perfectly, but you can use whatever you like. You can even use fabric to cover this if you want, and there is even fabric from the same collection. So here is an idea on what you can do with the fabric from collections. Now I'm going to stick everything down with my rice paper glue, and you can see how forgiving it is. I can lift the rice paper and place it back again with no problems at all. It doesn't dissolve. And then I'm starting by adding a little bit of rice paper glue at the top, and now after I grabbed the rice paper on the cover, now I can move my way down slowly. Once the rice paper is stuck on my stone paper, I'm also going to use the rice paper glue as a sealer, and I'm going to cover the top completely. After all, this is going to be the cover of my journals, so I want to make sure that it's going to be nice and durable. Make sure that the rice paper glue is completely dry, and now I'm going to use my scissors and cut off the excess. Don't throw away anything, this is priceless, you can definitely use it. Let me show you an idea on your journals as a background. So here, for example, I am going to start a page really quickly just to show you different ideas on how you can use your scraps. Just cut it into little squares, put it down, and you already have something started on your page. I'm going to keep it there so I know how I can start my next page. Now for the back, I'm going to repeat the same process. So I'm just going to bring in one more rice paper, and the one that I chose is directional, so I need to place it this way, but it's not a problem. I'm going to cut off the excess and just stick it on the other side. Now if you don't want to use rice papers front and back, and you want to be frugal with your papers, you can definitely use acrylic paint on stone paper. So just use that, a couple of colors, and maybe even do some stenciling on the inside of your journal cover. Now I'm using my ruler, and I'm going to mark. This is 1/8 of an inch from the bottom, and I'm working from the center 1/4 of an inch from the center, left and right. So again, the 0 is my center, and then 1/4 of an inch on each side. This is where I'm going to use my crocodile and make my holes. Now for the holes, I'm not going to use eyelets just because this is a quick project, but and also I'm using stone paper, which is not going to tear no matter what. However, if you want to make your project look more special, do use some metal eyelets to make it look more beautiful. And also, if you are working with a cover that is just paper, make sure to use eyelets. Otherwise, the elastic that I'm threading through here is going to tear it off. Now another idea for a cover, which might be really easy for you to do at home, is to use pattern paper from the same collection and then just laminate it. This is going to make it nice and sturdy and durable so that you can create holes and thread elastic. It's going to be also waterproof, so it will be great as a cover. Now I thread through my elastic, and this is quite thick, I believe, for an elastic, but that's what I had, and I think that it shows nicely through the camera. But you can go as thin as you like. Place the booklets inside, and once you are happy with how they look, then you can cut off the tails. If you leave the tails larger, you can always readjust if you need to. Now again, I'm going to use my crocodile, and I'm going to make a little hole about in the middle. You can definitely measure if you like. And then this is where I'm going to thread elastic again, which is going to be the elastic that will hold the whole booklet together. Now on the inside, make sure that you leave enough tails and don't chop them off, because this is going to allow for some readjustments as your journals get bulkier by time. So I'm just going to leave them there. They are not a problem at all. And now this is the whole project. You can definitely stop here. However, I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks that you can do to make it look more interesting. So for example, you can definitely go ahead and do some stenciling if you like. You can add some splatters. You can do some inking on the edges. It is really up to you how much you want to work on your cover. And then you can definitely decorate the elastic by hanging some charms from there. I decided to create my own charms because I have this new silicone mold, and it has all those designs with the ring on top, which makes for great charms. Now I want to have this anchor nice and big as a decorative element on top of my journal. So I am going to use 2 parts resin. And I'm going with resin because this is going to be a charm in front of my journal. I want it to be sturdy and thick, and one that it's not going to break easily. So I'm making sure that I steer the 2 parts really well. And of course I made way more than I need since I'm working with resin and I have all the supplies out on my craft table. And I do have that beautiful mold. I want to create even more so that I can have them handy for more projects. Now I'm going to pour very slowly, and I'm using those silicone cups, which are really easy both to clean but also to pour with no spilling at all. So you can already see how the resin is coming together, turning into being white. This is a fast resin that I'm using that takes only a few minutes to cure. And with the magic of video editing, here are all ready. Let's unmold the anchor, which I absolutely love. Now, there are many different ways that you can go. You can either use one of the smaller ones, like look how adorable everything is. I decided to go with the anchor because that's what I had in my mind from the beginning. And I want to give it a metallic shine, so I'm starting of course by priming the element. I'm using primer here and I'm dabbing with a sponge. By doing that I already end up having some texture on my anchor. Then I'm going to let this dry and I will proceed and cover it completely with black. You can do that either with black acrylic paint, but make sure that you did use some primer beforehand, otherwise the acrylic paint is not going to stick on the plastic. And now I'm going to use Stardust to add that metallic shine. For the Stardust to stick on top of your elements, you need to use beeswax. So I have a little bit of beeswax on my finger and I'm going to mix copper and gold. just touch that Stardust and it's going to stick nicely there. I'm going to mix those two colors directly on top of my anchor. And I absolutely love the result. And now of course to attach it we just need to use a jump ring. I have a big one here. And my project is ready. Now if you want to decorate it even more on the inside for the pages, you can definitely cut apart elements from your pattern papers, or you can use these stickers that again they are from the same collection, just showing you different ideas on how you can use the products from a whole release. And these stickers are new with Stamperia, they are not shiny at all. And then other ways, flat ways that you can decorate your pages are by using either the washi tape pad, again from the same release, foolproof always, or you can definitely use ribbons. Now I'm showing you here how it shows when you cut out and stick the washi tape pieces. You don't really need to fuzzy cut perfectly because it's not going to show all around. I'm going to stick one more here, and you see this is a difficult one. You wouldn't be able to fuzzy cut it perfectly, so I'm just roughly going all around it. But once you stick it down, it's not going to show at all. Remember, washi tape is semi-transparent, those washi pads, so they're not going to show. So here is a close-up, really blends with the white page. And then of course you can use ribbons. Ribbons are great, again, flat ways to decorate your pages. And I'm showing you all these different ways just to show you how you can use all these products and how lovely they help you put together projects. So that was the project for today. I hope that you had fun, that you got inspired. Don't forget, just like always, down below in the description you can find the full list of all the supplies that I used. Don't forget to leave me a comment and like the video, and I'll see you all next time.